What's up everybody, Kwame here, back with another video, and today I want to talk about my new iPad Pro setup. So I know everyone has been talking about the new iPad Pros and how great they are and how wonderful they are, but I want to kind of tell you about my iPad Pro, why I got it, what I came from, what I imagine using this thing for, and all that good stuff. So first of all, I've been using a iPad Air 2 right here since day one, and I love this iPad. It isn't a laptop replacement by any means for me. I don't even use a keyboard or anything with it, but it has LTE service, so it's great for if I'm out at a coffee shop, I can just start using it, reply to email, things like that. But I really use it for photo editing, video editing. It really does have a major role in the way that in my workflow for personal work or for client work. I use the iPad Air 2 a lot. I don't use like the camera or anything, but I do use it to manage pictures. I use Lightroom, so I'm able to see pictures on the fly, if I'm out at a coffee shop, like I said before, or if I'm meeting with a client, I can show them their pictures right here on the iPad. I've had many times where people have said, hey, can we get a copy of XYZ picture? As we're talking, I say, okay, which ones do you want? And I can send them right there from my iPad wherever I'm at. So I really do like that. However, the one thing that I've been wanting to do was get a bigger sized iPad. So this is 64 gigabytes, and it's really tough to work with 64 gigabytes. I went on vacation to West Africa and Senegal over the New Year, and I didn't take that many pictures. I think I took 60 gigabytes worth of pictures and video, but you can see right there, 60 gigabytes on a 64 gigabyte iPad. Then you have the operating system and everything else. I couldn't put all my pictures on the iPad, right? So I had to put them on there. I put all the videos on there, but I would have to sync the pictures up to Lightroom and then delete them off there and then keep them on my card. So that was like, I got through it. I didn't like the way that I got through it, so I really wanted to blow up my whole workflow and start over again. And I'll talk about that in a later video. It started with the iPad because I needed more space and I kind of wanted a bigger iPad. So as we know, Apple released new iPads at the end of last year, and I really wanted to get one of those iPads. I thought it would look pretty cool, but for the setup that I liked and the setup that I thought I would get, it was like $1,700 for an iPad. And as much as an iPad is a part of my workflow and I really do value it as a computer that I can get stuff done on, it's not worth $1,700 just for the iPad. That's not even talking about the Apple Pencil or any other accessories. So instead, I got the 2017 iPad Pro 12.9 inch. As you can see, it is in this case with has an Apple Pencil holder on there, and it has a kickstand and all that. And maybe I'll review the case later on. But I saved a good amount of money. So this is a LTE version, 512 gigabytes of storage. I think it was less than $700 for this. And then the Apple Pencil, which I bought new. So probably with everything, you're looking at $750 or something like that, like $750 to $790. Again, way cheaper than buying a new iPad. And this one is used, obviously, it is refurbished, but I wholeheartedly believe that a refurbished product from just a couple years ago, which at the time was considered by everybody as the best iPad out there, is still very good right now. Like, I don't need the latest and greatest. I will save that money, even though I did budget for like $1,200, because I thought I was gonna get the new one, but instead I got this one, and I can now use that money for saving it or for something else. Reality is I probably should just save it, but you never know. There are new like cameras I'm thinking about upgrading to, or a new lens or something like that. So now instead of putting a lot of money into one device without, again, the Apple Pencil or anything like that, I have this. I got this, a case, Apple Pencil, for well under the price that I was gonna pay for for the new iPad Pro. So whenever I'm upgrading from a camera or anything, I always look at like what is it that the new device can do, or is the pain point that the new device can answer that the old device can't, that the old device can't do, or I'm having problems with. And really with iPads, they all they all do the same thing. There isn't one, unless you're looking at like the, first or second generation iPad, but like my iPad Air 2, there isn't anything that this can't do that this can do. Now, granted, LumaFusion, Lightroom, things like that run better on the newer one because it has more power, it has more RAM, and the specs are better, but it can get the job done if I needed it to. What I really like about this one, and even like the newer just generic iPad, is the Apple Pencil. And having a device that is so precise, so when you're cutting video in LumaFusion, it's much easier to use the pencil and get like precise cuts, or moving the timeline just where you want it to versus your finger. Same thing with editing pictures in Lightroom. Yes, I've been using my finger for a long time on this device, but having the pencil, it just makes things a lot more fluid and a lot more easier. I believe Jonathan Morrison said, think of the Apple Pencil as a mouse for the iPad. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, it is a tool that is almost necessary if you're going to get an iPad Pro or even the newer iPads, because again, this same workflow can work on the newer iPads or the iPad Pros. Now, the main reason why I went with the iPad Pro is I wanted the most amount of storage that I was willing to pay for. And 512 gigabytes is more than enough storage, especially if I've had 64 gigabytes of storage for, I don't know, whenever this one came out. I've been able to manage all my pictures and videos on here. The one thing with iOS, and I'm hoping that they change in iOS 13, is you can't import your pictures directly into Lightroom. You have to import them onto the internal storage, like using the Photos app, and then import them into Lightroom. That sucks. So I don't actually keep a lot of pictures on my iPad. I usually will import them into Lightroom and then delete them off the iPad. And if we're going like on a trip, or I know I'm not gonna have any kind of connectivity service, I will just save those pictures within Lightroom to the iPad. Again, I plan on making a video about my photography and video workflow later, but 512 gigabytes will be more than enough for my needs. So overall, I just wanted to talk about my new iPad, which really isn't new, it's old. But also, you guys, if you're thinking about getting an iPad or any kind of device, you don't always have to go for the newest, the latest, and greatest one. Sometimes you can get a really good deal on a used one and save a little bit of money, but still get the same performance that you're looking for, and it'll be an upgrade over what you had. As always, thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like or subscribe button if you like or want more content like this, and I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.